has the sniper.
Now, if you recall, in Columbus and Orlando itself, this was one of their strongest game types. We see them bring that sniper to glass. They don't even like to snipe from Nest, but they love to rotate this weapon across the map and just stay alive. And when Saiyan's ripping faces like that, keep in mind, he's already got more kills than he had last game here to start this one off.
Got to be careful. That barrel was up. You saw Shotzzy trying to go for the barrel kill. We're at 10-1 right now.
Saiyan has 4 kills.
10-1. Saiyan with the sniper just queuing this up. Is anybody going to peek their face out? Things have gotten really quiet here. Things have slowed down, a bit different of gameplay than we're seeing before here in Coliseum CTF, which was very fast, very aggressive, and Saiyan's still just hanging back. But he's got to figure out what he's going to do here because Red X is all over the place. It doesn't matter. Stellar taking one to the face. He goes down, and now Saiyan making a good rotation, continuing to do work with the sniper. Renegade goes down as well. Great prediction all around from Saiyan and maneuvering around to stay near his team.
And how many times do you see players line up that sniper into blue, or into flowers, into blue, and see 1, 2, sometimes even 3 and 4 players sprint past, but never do you see players actually connect on that headshot when they are running through. Saiyan, on the other hand, that player we were just talking about, got shut down last game, but has already stepped it up and has 6 kills, so 4 more kills already here in the first 2 minutes of this game than he had all last CTF calls.
Alright, you watched the clip, Envious vs Splice, Game 2, Plaza Slayer, Halo World Championship. If you guys have not seen the full gameplay, I highly recommend you check it out. I linked it in the description for your viewership. This game is intense. There's a huge kill differential to start. It's like 16-4 on the side of Envious, and then Splice completely turns it around with a 12-kill lead, and then Envious has to inch their way back in the last couple minutes and somehow grab a W. Not to spoil it for you, but this game is great to watch. I recommend you check it out. Now, Saiyan makes some beautiful plays throughout. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive. We're going to look closely at Saiyan's gameplay with a focus on 3 key things. We're going to look at sniping, tips on how to improve your sniping in Halo 5, reticle placement and how important reticle placement is in Halo overall, and we're going to take a look at awareness and map rotation. These are 3 things that Saiyan does beautifully in this gameplay, and kicking it off in the start here, the biggest thing that you want to pay attention to is literally just where he's standing. Positioning is half the battle as a sniper. The biggest thing that you want to be thinking when you grab a fresh sniper rifle, the first thing you should be thinking is, where are my teammates and where can I position myself on the map to give myself the most available advantages? You don't want to just go try to grab nice snipes and throw yourself at the enemy, potentially choke, and then give the sniper over to the enemy team. Think about positioning and where you can put yourself on the map that gives you the most available advantages and not only helps you get kills, but helps you escape if you're in trouble. This spot is so helpful for so many reasons. Like, the first off is just, like, look at what he can see. Like, look at the angles that he has in this one spot here. He can see the cafe windows, big door. He's got the top of dip. He can see top mid, S4, S2. He can see conveniently through the glass without even revealing himself. He can see S2. He can also see the posters, the top of cinema stairs, the U-turn. He's got light rifle in front of him. He can look over to his right and see top yellow through the hallway. He can see yard. He's got behind him. He can even see tram. So he's got pretty much viewership over like 90% of the map here just by standing here. On top of that, he's a hard kill too. It's not easy to shoot this guy. He can easily take advantage of the cover on his left and right without burning any of his abilities. He can also, if somebody throws a grenade, they can perfectly land a grenade at his feet, but Saiyan knows that he can jump backwards to the box behind him and tram, take full advantage of that box, then jump right back to that spot and apply pressure once again. So it's easy for him to escape. He's got viewership over plenty of angles on the map. That is so important as a sniper. Position yourself the moment you grab that sniper. It's going to sound cheesy, but position yourself for success, man. Give yourself advantages. Now, one of the big things, even before he gets that beautiful snipe, but just recognize that you can push forward just like he is. He's pushed forward to the light rifle box here. Remember that if you jump forward to light rifle, always remember where you came from. Remember your exit strategy. That glass behind him is an easily available exit strategy. If ever you jump out to this box, always remember in the back of your head that if you're in trouble, you're going to go down to one shot, jump thrust out to glass. It's an easily available exit. From glass, you can drop down to tram. There's so many different areas for you to recover your shields and stay alive if you quickly jump thrust out to glass. Use that as your exit strategy, as your lifeline. So he's done that. He's jumping back to glass. While he's jumping back, I'm assuming he's heard a call out from his teammate. That, or he just has the presence of mind to know to look at Sniper, considering all the action that's happening on the map. The biggest thing about this snipe that's crazy, though, is his reticle is not lined up. He is not fully prepared for this shot, so this really does come down to his overall talent and capability in this game. He's got to recognize where that enemy player is relative to where his reticle is, and give yourself a little bit of time. Just pace yourself that little bit so you can make a confident reaction and confidently flick that right stick, connect those two dots together. So Saiyan, in the air, notice that his reticle's out of place, but he takes that split second to, confidently recognize where that opponent is and what type of movement he has to make on the right stick, that quick flick on the right stick to land that headshot. I mean, on top of that, he has confidence because he knows he's jumping backwards, and even if he misses that shot, he's going to land right behind glass in cover. Let's say he didn't grab the shot. He's in a safe spot anyway. It's probably going to back down Renegade and force Renegade to, interact with Jesse here, who's coming up on the side of Sniper. So that was a huge play from Saiyan, taking advantage even without having his reticle fully placed. He's going to jump up now and try to capitalize on this as well. This is a quick thing here, but we all know this is one of the unique aspects of Halo that really differentiates it from other shooters like Call of Duty, Destiny, things like that, is when he jumps forward here, he tries to go for this snipe. He gets shot. If you're shot when you're scoped in, it's going to de-scope your rifle. We all know this, so that's why it was the moment that he actually reacted to try to go for the shot is when his reticle got de-scoped, so it threw his snipe shot completely off. Regardless, though, he's still in a great spot, and he's taking advantage of the geometry beside him. When you jump down, make sure you hug this box, okay? You can get so much off of just staying as close to this box as possible. It's really hard to land nades right on top of the box. Usually the nades fall in the ramp below, and if he hugs the box, he can stay as far away from that barrel onto his right. He doesn't want to get instantly killed if that barrel explodes. If anything, he might take some splash damage, but hugging this box is so important. And don't do something stupid like immediately jump when you're behind that box to jump to apply pressure. Like, yes, you can jump in certain scenarios, especially if your plan overall is to jump and thrust backwards into glass, but jumping in general, it forces you to burn lifelines like thrusting earlier than you had planned to, and it leaves you out in the open for a very long time because you're hovering in the air almost. It's like a moon jump, right? So really be confident in your strafe. Take advantage of Halo's like classic mechanics, that being your strafe and your shot, and hug this wall here. It takes some time to fully, be confident in strafing and shooting. I even recommend you practice just strafing out of a wall, firing a couple shots and strafing back in, and just having confidence peeking out like that. But it's just important to know that he has the awareness to look over to his left while making sure that he always is hugging that box, keeping that left side cover, and putting those shots. He puts one shot in on a Shotzzy, recognizes that Boo Boo Doo is right behind Shotzzy. He doesn't even need to try to finish that kill. Instead, easily available exit strategy, jump thrust out to glass. This is such a great place to be. He jump thrusts out to glass. He's got his snipe back. He can push forward now, get an angle on yard. Even standing here is kind of cool because, yes, he's pushed himself against the wall so that he gets the angle, but also being against the wall keeps him far enough away from the barrel so that he doesn't instantly die if somebody blows up the barrel. So he's always cognizant of the dangers around him and make sure that he's in a safe spot while he's still getting these angles. You'll see he doesn't walk too far forward. He even stops there to jump out behind the box so that he can make sure that he's always got angles in places where he's safe. He's easy to escape damage. Right now you can see Pistola went down. Boo Boo Doo was about to die as well. You're going to see the red X on your screen. There's 2 X's on his screen. Both of his teammates have died. They've lost their battles, right? So this is so important as a sniper. You have to recognize your opportunities to rotate on the map. This is so huge for map awareness. Yes, he's in a power position. Yes, glass is a great place to be as a sniper, but if you don't have your team to support you in that spot, it's very dangerous. Now that these players have died, he recognizes these X's are on the map. That means the players are going to start pushing and funneling into yard, probably coming around tram, coming up from driveway, wherever. So he knows that immediately after these players die, he has to start rotating, and his teammates over on snipe side, he can see that. There's so many ways to take advantage of that, to see that. Even when he's out of scope, you'll see there's a little white marker on the edge of the radar. A lot of people know this already, but the little marker is where your teammate is located. It gives you the direction that he's located. He knows by that marker that his teammate's most likely on snipe side. In general, he knows his teammate's on snipe side, but the moment these players go down, he knows he should rotate. He's going to rotate over to snipe. It's likely his teammates will spawn up on the bottom of the lift as well. Lands a freaking crazy snipe shot as he's leaving. This is insane. Like, honestly, it's so... It almost makes me mad. The guy's so good at the game. But the biggest thing here is just look what he's doing with his reticle before he even makes that shot. Is he activates scope behind the wall and then jumps while being fully prepared for what's about to come next. It's like you kind of want to almost like you want to think about the map before you actually commit to that jump. Like he's scoped in before he even jumps up, so when he comes up he knows exactly what he's about to look at with that scope. He's not surprised by anything in front of him. That's the biggest thing, is to scope and then have like the presence of mind to know what's coming next in the map so that you can be as prepared as possible. He notices Stellar's there, quickly flicks the right stick, grabs the kill. Honestly, insane reaction. It's so hard to pull that off. This is an even crazier reaction. Nobody gets that. Nobody hits those shots. So like this is one of the reasons why I grabbed this gameplay, because he's hitting shots that are like near inhuman reaction, basically. Mainly, I think the main reason why he grabbed this one is because he can see the player leave from the window, so he's made a prediction that the player might decide to run out to yard, which is exactly what they did. So already having that in his mind, he can react just a little bit faster. Now, once again, reticle placement is so huge in landing like 90% of your snipes. He knows relative head level for the most part. You'll see he's already in that head level right there. He knows, like, even just lining up your reticle on that little line there on the box, when he comes out, he's near perfectly in head level, even before the player comes in. So he's as prepared as possible for this kill as he can ever be. You want to make sure you prepare yourself for all of this stuff when you're sniping. This is what helps you get kills. He notices the player run by. There's a quick little flick that he does over to the right, making sure not to peg his control stick. I've talked about this a million times at this point, but making it so that your right stick doesn't hit the edge of the controller, it pegs. You want to do a quick little tiny flick with that right stick, just that fine-tuning flick, just to make sure that you land that headshot. So that was amazing from him, pulling that off with such a narrow window reaction, taking advantage of it. Now he's rotated with his team. This is huge. His team spawned up on snipe side. They start pushing forward. Now, this is like subtle, but this is honestly one of the greatest things that he does that I've personally learned from this is he knows that when he moves up over to this area of the map, like he's got 3 key areas of focus that he needs to be looking at. There's glass, there's the loop, and there's the doorway to light rifle. Those are the 3 key areas that there might be players approaching from, and Saiyan knows that intimately. So the first thing that he does is preps his reticle to look at glass. That's the first area he's going to focus. He brings the reticle out, so he scopes in right as he's coming up, so he can immediately see glass. In this position, he can strafe left or right. If there is a player in glass, he's in an advantageous position. He's ready to react and get a kill. Now the next area of focus that he wants to look at is loop, so he immediately jumps to take a look at loop. Where he's seeing loop now, he jumps to see if there are any players in loop. While he's in the air here, like, he's got a great angle on loop, but he's also in a vulnerable position to glass and potentially light rifle as they start to pour out a light rifle. So he knows that the moment after he takes a look into loop, if he thrusts himself over to the right, just like that, now that he's looking in light rifle, he's looking in light rifle from a position of cover. This is like, it's just such a great way to like preemptively place your reticle and prepare yourself for something. Like, he pulls it, he comes out with the strafe, he's in a great spot to have advantages for the glass here. Jumps, he has an advantage just as like a first look, a first sight advantage, and then immediately thrusts over to the right. If somebody comes out of light rifle, he has waist high cover, so he's put himself in the best possible positions to land snipes and to escape if necessary. So every single little movement that he's doing to prep himself for these opportunities is huge. He does a bit of a sprint forward to jump forward, and then jumps out while already having his reticle out as early as possible, while he's ready to, ready and prepared to land that shot on glass side. He notices the players coming up the stairs. It's going to get taken out by a teammate. Once again, having the presence of mind to know that these players are being slayed on loop. They're likely going to spawn over in the cafe, considering he's got teammates, on loop, on tram, light rifle, maybe pushing up through yard. He's got teammate behind him on snipe side. He's currently on the cinema stairs. It's very likely they're going to spawn in the cafe side of the map. So the presence of mind to jump up, bring out his scope. Auto stabilize is likely off in this case. He can, with auto stabilize off, he can scope out and he can choose when he wants to stabilize, just so he can hold himself a little bit longer and take advantage of an opportunity like this. Stabilizes, lands that body shot, thrusts back over here. And then from here on, he's not going to get any other kills. But just a quick thing, we all know the stabilize jump. Jump, hold crouch, activate stabilize immediately. While you have stabilize activated, you're keeping your crouch held and you're holding down your clamber so that you can clamber up to this ledge at the earliest available opportunity. If you have tap to clamber, you would have to tap it at the right time. Personally, I recommend hold to clamber. I find it easier for me to get my jumps. I just hold clamber, I hold crouch after I've jumped and activated my stabilize. So jump, hold crouch, activate stabilize, hold clamber so you can grab it at the earliest available opportunity. He does that right there. Clambers up, back into power position once again. He's going to throw his stick. And then this part right here is he does everything right as far as like, you'll notice, I'll just play it for a sec. You'll see there's a pause. He does like this quick pause where he's got his reticle to the right of him. He recognizes where the opponent is. He pauses for a second so that he can confidently make that reaction, flick the snipe, and land the shot. He overflicks though. He like overextends just a little bit. You'll see it hits the wall out to the side of him. And now at this point, he's in trouble. He's weak, and he decides to run down to bottom mid U-turn. This is actually not a bad place to be. In U-turn, it's super easy for you to jump on top of that van and then jump up to top mid. And then in top mid, you've got so many different areas that you can access. It's pretty easy to stay alive, though you are in a pretty hotly contested area in the map. It's pretty easy to jump back and get over to the snipe side. The biggest thing is you just want to jump onto the van, walk over to the windshield, jump out to the left and clamber. I'm not going to talk about it in much detail, mainly because we just don't have the opportunity to see it here, but it's a pretty good place to recover your shields and be able to jump back out and apply pressure on top mid. So overall, that covers everything I wanted to cover in this clip. Saiyan with some amazing plays and sniping. We can see, you know, how reticle placement was so huge in allowing him to optimally, I guess, react to these situations and be confident in all of his movements with the sniper. And of course, his positioning is so huge. You want to make sure that you are in the right position with the sniper rifle before to give yourself as many advantages as possible. And of course, rotating on the map, recognizing when your teammates have died, and then rotating accordingly so that you can stick with your teammates and stay in a position of power and keep the sniper rifle with your team. The last thing you want to do is be caught by yourself, pass over an important weapon to the enemy team. So these are super important things that you want to take advantage of as a sniper in Halo. And I actually botched my ending, so I decided to make a quick edit here. There's one little thing that I forgot. I'm going to go back. If you're a right stick aimer and you're using the sniper, you will know that it's kind of hard to descope your sniper because you have to double click the right stick to descope, which is kind of an inconvenience for some people. A lot of people already know this, but you'll notice that most pros actually, they use right stick to scope, and the way that they remove the scope instead of double clicking is they YY. You'll see they switched his weapon right there the moment after he fired that shot. So instead of double clicking and that inconvenience of pressing that right stick twice, which is kind of just, it's kind of hard to do, and sometimes you can fumble, and it's it's a pain. He switches his weapon as a result. It's easier for him. Now this is kind of difficult if you're playing the standard way, because that means you have to take your thumb off the right stick and sacrifice your ability to aim to switch your weapons. But if you play with claw or you play with paddles, this is a huge convenience that I recommend you get in the habit of. Fire the shot, switch weapons twice, and you can get out of your scope and you're good to go for the next shot. So that's something to keep in mind. You can also remove your scope by sprinting or by thrusting. So those are two other opportunities. So depending on the scenario, it might be better just to sprint out of your scope than double click the scope, or maybe you can thrust depending on the situation. You get to a vantage point, you can thrust out of your scope. Like if you're stabilizing, for example, that's a good way to get out of your scope. Also, I forgot, shoutouts to Saiyan, of course, for the amazing gameplay. I'm going to link Saiyan's Twitter and Saiyan's Twitch. Of course, if you're watching this, you probably already know who Saiyan is. But if for whatever reason you don't know who Saiyan is, check out his channels. Give this guy a follow. He is one of the few people who are still dedicated to streaming Halo, which is amazing. And he is a total pro at this game, so you guys got to check him out. I'll link both of the relevant channels in the description. Thank you guys for checking it out. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell beside the subscribe button. You can keep up to date on everything that I am releasing onto this channel the moment it comes out. That is everything I wanted to cover. Also, actually, Twitter, Instagram, linked in the description. You can follow me on the other channels too. Thanks, guys, for checking it out. I will see you around. Have a good night.